piece of material just inside the busk here, which sort of stops your clothes picking out or your skin getting pinched when you do the corset up. On the DraculaClothing corset, it's canvas and it's double-sided, so it's like 2 layers. It's very thick. It's a good 2-3 inches thick, and as you do your corset up, it stays in quite nicely, and really keeps the clothes in instead of poking out through your busk, which is not the most attractive look. As you can see, the Fairy Goth Mother one is a very small piece of taffeta, pretty much a few millimeters, and I find it's more difficult with this corset to stop blouses and tops sticking out. I very rarely wear corsets without blouses, but I wore this one for my prom on its own. It didn't pinch my skin, but it's still a very thin piece of material, and it's not very good at keeping your shirts in. They seem to poke out here quite a lot. Now I'm going to go into the lining. This is the DraculaClothing Delicacy underbust. You can see the boning channels here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spiral steel bones, this side and this side. They have 4 flat steel bones, 2 here and 2 here for the busk at the back of the corset, and of course the flat steel busk at the front. The waist tape in here, you can slide your finger underneath it and stuff. I find this waist tape is perfectly along the... So here's the inside of the Fairy Goth Mother corset. It's harder to see because it's all very, very jet black, but the waist tape they've used here is satin, and I find that the waist tape comes a little higher than I like it to, and this corset really pulls on my ribs to the point where it gets kind of uncomfortable. Probably it might just be because it's overbust. All of my other corsets are underbust, but I did find this quite painful after a while. I can't wear this comfortably all day. This has to be sort of an occasion. This has 1, 2, 3, 4 spiral steel bones, a flat steel busk, and like the DraculaClothing corset has 2 flat steel bones at the back for the back bust. There are garter clips here. What I really like about the garter clips on this corset is that there are 6 as opposed to 4, which is usually the deal. They've got 2 at the front and 1 on the back side, so that's more comfortable if you're wearing stockings and garters for sitting down, because it's slightly at the side as opposed to right at the back, which can be quite comfortable with sitting down, and sometimes your garters ping off and it's not very comfortable. But the garters are sort of the end of the boning channel. They've looped it over to make the garter. Another thing I really like about DraculaClothing is that their garters come with the corsets, and they're very, very nice, heavy-duty garter clips. This corset also has garter clips. I haven't tried these out yet because this isn't the sort of corset that you can wear under your clothes. This is more an over corset, so these aren't the ends of the boning channels. They are little satin loops. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, it's all black really. But as I said, I've never tried garters with them. They're quite thin. They're not the thickest. Like on the DraculaClothing corset, they're quite thick for quite big garters, so they sort of do the job properly. As I said, I've never actually worn these with stockings, but I'm not sure the clips would stay in here, because it's just a big loop. You've got a lot of room in there for it to like move around and slip out. But they do have 6 loops. This one is at the back as opposed to the back side, so I guess that would be a little uncomfortable. The Dracula clothing corset has, all of them I believe have a modesty panel. This one is matching satin to the outside, so when you put it over your back, it sort of looks very complete and all as one. But you can, if you want to show a bit of skin, hide it really easily. As you can see, it's just like, you could probably even unstitch it and take it off if you want to. I wouldn't want to, but I like to put the modesty panel up at the back. I have noticed though, here, as you can see, it rides up so it goes over your hips comfortably, and it is very comfortable. But sometimes when you wear it, it doesn't hide this part of the modesty panel, so you have to sort of fold it up, which can be a little bit uncomfortable, but as I said, you could always remove it if it did get too much of a bother. It doesn't really bother me because I usually have my modesty panel over anyway. This doesn't matter to me, obviously, as I said before, but you can't really hide the modesty panel on this if you want to show skin on your back, because the ruffle ribbon here, which is very pretty, they've sort of individually pleated them and sewn them on, which is a really lovely touch, but the ribbon sort of sews onto the corset. I don't know if you can see, so you can't really fold the modesty panel back, it sort of stays here, which is fine for me, but obviously if you want to show skin, but it has taffeta the same as the rest of the corset, which is lovely taffeta, and you can't really see it on the camera, but it's sort of a red with black overlay, like when you look at it in different angles, it's sort of red and black at the same time, so that's really lovely.